Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2008 MavWar tournament. My name is Blake, and I'm here casting with the wonderful Hollywood. How are you, Hollywood?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me.
We are thrilled to have you, and we are thrilled to be casting this game tonight between Bravo Sucks at Tetris and The Gang, aka Gang Gang, which I will continue to call them because it's funny. And why don't we go over the teams real quick if you want to run down Bravo Sucks at Tetris' roster?
Absolutely. On Team Bravo Sucks at Tetris, we have Team Captain Purple, we have Rage Cake, Briz, I think that's Nagi, and Misu.
Briz is actually a much older player. And he's pretty old, so I'm kind of curious to see what he's going to do in this game, because I haven't seen him in a long time. But on The Gang, we have Team Captain K3, Crunchy, Quinlan, and Varix. And I don't know Varix very well, but both of these teams to me seem really solid. Do you know a lot about them, Hollywood?
Unfortunately, no, I don't think I'm familiar with any of the players here. I mean, I have heard of I'm pretty sure I did play like a pug once with Purple, but not enough to commit to memory. But so far, the vast majority of the games we've had this tournament have been extremely close.
Oh, absolutely. And I really expect to see that here tonight, even with all the wipes that are coming, because we're playing Wipe Toll. Such a good match.
Yes, the wonderful Wipe Toll. That's always such a delight. And we are live.
We are indeed. We do have a really early tank. Oh dear. Okay. Should be fun. Alright, we have a tank up in the hands of Crunchy. We do see a Hunter Jockey Spitter going in, getting a little bit of damage, more so some FF than anything. And again, alright, we do need a pause. We do have this tank up in the hands of Crunchy. For now, it seems he has hit one of his cars in, and we are just waiting on that pause. Alright, there we go.
Yeah, unfortunately, stream issues. We did have the same problems last night while Xbye figures that out. We can do a quick recap here. We've got the tank sitting on the other side of the bridge. He did hit one car in, as Blake mentioned, and obviously Team Bravo Sucks is going to fight this tank right here at the safe room area. You know, it's not really a safe room, obviously, but this tank, you know, is probably going to be one of those long-waiting posy tanks.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, this tank is pretty dynamic, and that there's a lot of ways you can play it, in that you can go up into the hills and throw rocks forever, because it's very hard to LOS there, or you can commit with a car. And I'm really curious to see how Crunchy chooses to play this tank. I think the smart thing would be to go back just a little bit farther, grab that second car, and put it in the valley in case the survivors do try to push. But with the way he spawned, I'm not sure he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, this is going to give us a bit of an indication as to how, you know, the sort of style that teams tend to go for. Are they more aggro? Are they more patient? You know, we can see the kind of synergy if Crunchy's support SI is going to be there for him, if they're going to, you know, give him some opportunities, or if he's going to try and, you know, try harder to work those hittables in, etc. It is worth noting that Crunchy still has not fixed his tag, and that's just unacceptable to me.
All right, well, again, cast is over. We're all going home, boys. Good night. Completely kidding. I definitely think this is going to be indicative of how the gang is going to play Infected throughout the rest of the map. Especially with this tank, it's very, very important that whether you're rocking or whether you're committing with your car, that you get a lot of good Infected on this map. The support is key to this tank. And because if you're rocking, this is not the easiest rock spot in the world. It's easy to keep sight, but landing rocks is kind of tough. So you do have to have your SI set that up. And if you're committing with your car, it's even more difficult, if only for the fact that there's a lot of things in that safe room that makes it hard to hit that car well. I myself, I like pushing in with a nice boom, usually like a 2-boom or a 3-boom, get a lot of horde in there, maybe a smoker and charger, something like that. They've got time to sack for what SI they want. So hopefully we will see what happens here. And I think we were going live, and then Quinn crashed when we were going live.
Well, it wouldn't be a competitive game of Left 4 Dead 2 without our fair share of delays. The last match that I casted with Rails just last night was fantastically memey. We had, I think, like maybe 5 or 6 pauses in there. It was a true disaster, and looks like this game may be following in the same fashion. We've got stream issues, we've got players crashing. Hopefully no one's mom disconnects their Wi-Fi in the middle of the match. That would be a real heartbreaker.
Boy,
Also have to pay respects.
for mom's birthday. That would be bad.
Yes, that would be. All right, Quinn is back. It looks like so. Hopefully, we will be beginning momentarily.
All right, we are going live. Would you like to run this over to an infected war and see how
Let's go.
Crunchy plays this?
Absolutely. Let's see how the gang handles this tank fight.
Reloading.
Do you want us to hit? Let us know.
I don't have a spawn.
Fuck, why am I losing raid?
Ready?
Go down.
Bruh!
Get it up! I'm reloading. Got him.
Let's not talk about that charger, okay?
That's fine.
Disregard it.
Reloading.
I'm on your
3
ready.
seconds. 3 seconds.
Oh, that's
Reloading. Watch your ass. Reloading.
Reloading.
This is good damage so far. Set of quick firm.
Reloading.
I'm reloading.
You guys ready?
when you're ready. Go down. Fucking hitbox.
Reloading.
Let's go before they make him lose it.
You ready, guys? Start going.
I'm trying to spawn. Fuck it, incapped him.
Oh my god, he got the
He got incapped before the rock landed, dude. That sucks.
Reloading.
You got that car there. They're trying to push.
Where?
It's right next to you, right next to you.
Reloading.
Nice.
Get the fuck out, nigga!
Help him. Fucking nice, dude. Fucking nice. Good shit, Crunchy.
I'm gonna get clear, babe.
And we are back after that incredible tank by Crunchy. I'm pretty sure that's over. It is. Okay, I was still tapping back in. Yeah. What a tank by Crunchy. What did you think of that, Hollywood?
Well, I mean, that is a really good display by Crunchy. You know, he decided to rock tank. I mean, obviously, these tree lines, the big ass hill, the tank doesn't actually have to deal with that much chip, and he decided, you know, I'm just going to take this nice and slow. And Team Bravo sucks. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do a lot of chip, and they were taking a lot of consistent, you know, 2 caps and like almost taking a tri-cap in between those tank rocks. Unfortunately for them, they pushed, I think, too late by the time that Crunchy decided to commit. You know, they already had 1 down, and Crunchy landed some really great, you know, hittables with that car. He got I think he got Rage Cake down, and then he landed a double car. So overall, Crunchy showed a really good tank rock play and really good, committing.
Definitely. And like I said, or we were talking about earlier, that is a very much a support-centric tank, and that support was really, really good. They were landing constant booms, constant 2-caps. That was really good. We do have a hit going in here, though. Hunter is pouncing around, does defeat a jockey, gets M2 and shut down, stick goes down, nothing, and a Hunter does land on Bill for just a second. And we do have this next tank up for Bravo Sucks in the hands of Misu. Let's keep it in here for just a little bit to see what she chooses to do with her hittables. It looks like the gang is trying to get a little bit of chip, but nope, they're backing up now.
Yep, Misu's going to throw that car in identical to the way Crunchy did. This is Bravo Sucks' opportunity to show what kind of skills they have, what kind of tank they decide to play. Obviously, they've got a lot to do here if they want to stay in this game. If they wipe, if they wiped with such an early tank and they don't manage to do the same, it's, that's already a pretty bad start on White Hole. Regardless, we do have double pounces landing. A charger lands onto Zoe for a second. We're going to see if this rock lands, but it looks like the team is going to be able to skeet it just before it hits.
Even with that SI landing, that was not very much damage. A lot of quick clears, and Quinn got a nice skeet on that rock. It looks like they are trying to LOS right now, and they're doing a pretty good job of it, because Misu did just start losing rage. She is kind of rotating now to try to keep sight. She is at 40% first pass. She does need to land a rock here. We do have our next setup with a Boomer Jockey Smoker. Looks like that Boomer is trying to set up right now. This is not the most ideal hit to try to get a rock. We do have our Jockey and Smoker spawning up, though. Boomer does spawn, gets a nice one boom. Pull goes out on Bill, rock is seated, and that Jockey died out of nowhere.
Yet, so far it looks like Team Crunchy has a little bit more synergy. They seem to be more familiar with this area. Obviously, there's lots of objects here that not only ruin hittables, but you can also use to LOS. Right now, they're pushing into Misu, chipping her out a lot. She's down to 90 HP, but then Zoe gets hit by a rock. That's going to allow Misu to come back up on this hill and play a little bit more patiently.
Yeah, 600 chip for one rock and keeping your first pass, not a bad trade at all. I would definitely take that if I was Bravo Sucks. We do have another hit up. Looks like they are going for a rock again with a Hunter Charger Boomer. Hunter and Boomer, or Charger, excuse me, has spawned out. Charger does go out and gets land. Hunter is bouncing around. A Boom will go out and get popped. Looks like that rock did not hit. But another rock is coming in, and it will not hit either. It looks like the gang is choosing to push forward. Why don't we run this over to an infected war room now?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Reloading!
I can see somebody.
Yeah, they're not really LS like we weren't. You guys ready? Charger Jockey?
Yeah.
Start going.
I keep missing like free rock.
They might try and push, but that's fine. You can get your car in.
Reloading!
Good rush.
Nice try.
You can get that car in. You can start going in, yeah. I'll spawn straight.
Reloading.
Where's my car?
Not sure. Don't see it currently. Rock, just stay alive with your tank. Stay alive with your team. I'm up in one. Shoot them alive.
Sweet.
Pounds.
Might as well.
I'm gonna kill down guy. Just cover.
Yeah.
He's dead. Just keep staying alive. You're good. Just keep staying alive.
I'll be up now.
Sorry.
Dude, I'm half your size. Come on, get up.
Definitely delay that. Keep going.
Help over here!
Nice.
Come on, Bill, get up!
I'm gonna die.
Maybe. Just keep trying to run away.
And all right.
And we are back. I believe that tank is dead now.
No, she is still running around on 1% HP, 91 health to their name, but the gang is going to be pushing up to these ladders. Unfortunately, Bravo Sucks did not get the wipe, despite a few opportunities landing, a lot of rocks landing that, arguably shouldn't have. But right now, the gang does have a double boom horde to deal with. Zoe is sitting up there trying to get some chip, but it looks like Misu is still going to be able to throw some rocks. And Zoe gets pulled. That might be an in cap right there.
It looks like Bill is so hoarded that he cannot clear that jockey, and Francis will go down. That does just leave K3 up, and a rock is going to land. I believe that's going to be the wipe.
Looks like it. This tank is going to die to one more shot, but regardless, it does land the final rock, and that is a wipe for the gang. Not quite in the same spot, but I mean, that's hardly any kind of lead to really speak of.
That was very, very well played by Misu. It was a little bit of a sketchy commit. She did get that nice down on Quinn and was able to get that kill with that hunter, and she just expertly just sat her ass down and rocked, and they ate it up, literally. I feel like a lot of those rocks shouldn't have been landing. I think there were some easy skeets that should have gone out that just weren't. But the thing about Death Toll is that it is a 5-map campaign, and in any 5-map campaign, map 1 is not that important unless one team makes safe room and the other doesn't. And that's not what just happened. So both teams are still very much in this right now.
Absolutely. As we always say, map 1 is map 1. It's not worth a whole lot in terms of points, and even if it is, last night, one team wiped very early on, the other one made the safe room. And I mean, it was looking pretty bad. The second map followed a similar pattern, but then the team that was behind came back on the third map and honestly almost turned it around. I mean, it came down to the wire on the final map. So even so, this map is still very close, and we are going to see the gang on Survivor side. We're going to see how they choose to take this first hit. The Infected have a Charger, Boomer, Smoker, Hunter ready. So, I mean, no spit for that Charger, but Boomers here tend to create some nice delays if they can land multi-booms.
Definitely. You do have this, everything again. Boomer does get nicely popped. Hunter does go in, land. Charger misses, and we do have a smoke going out on Zoe, but doesn't get quickly cleared. And so that was about 22 damage for that hit, which isn't terrible, but that can be a devastating area. So I'm not sure that was what Bravo Sucks was looking for.
Yeah, unfortunately that Boomer did get popped immediately. There was no horde to slow them down, which means that they're going to move on through the ammo pile, through this tunnel, and it looks like they're going to be ready to take this hit somewhere around this ladder area. Bravo Sucks has a double Hunter, Charger, and a Boomer to deal with here.
I think this is a pretty solid hit for this tunnel area. It looks like they are kind of setting up outside, so I think they want to set up whenever they go for the button, which is not a bad idea, especially with a tank that is relatively late for this map.
Yeah, it looks like the gang are taking things pretty cautiously. I do agree with you. There were a lot of rocks landing that shouldn't have landed. They were playing, I think, a little too aggressively with that tank, and I think they've learned their lesson. They're playing really cautiously. They are now moving to the button, looks like. Bill and Francis are heading over. They're going to hit that, and Bravo Sucks looks like they're going to hit after the horde starts, which would be, I think, the smart thing to do when you don't have a smoker or a jockey to create some nice separation on these platforms here.
Looks like they are trying to bait out this button head right now, and it looks like Francis has hit it. They are choosing not to go back yet. I think they are waiting for that hit, which right now is still being held. I'm not sure about this call.
Yeah, I mean, patience is always nice, but Bravo Sucks are taking a little bit too long to hit now. We do have the spawns going out. Single boom landing on Francis. The Charger goes in, hits Lewis right off the platform. These hunters are bouncing around. Both of them get shut down. A few pounds onto Lewis, but not a ton of damage to speak of. Now the gang are going to move back into the tunnel area to deal with this horde.
In the time they took to do that hit, they could have gotten another one very quickly, and I feel like getting one Charger pound is not acceptable for waiting that long. This is a pretty long event, and they do have a tank coming up, so I think they can make this work. But we do have a Boomer Spitter Hunter Smoker up here. Not an amazing hit. We do have the Hunter and Smoker both going in. Pull goes out on Lewis, but it gets cleared quickly. Hunter does get skeeted. Boomer gets popped, and Spitter dies. So 0 damage going out on the gang. Very nice shutdown.
Yep, the gang are taking this map very well. They're not taking a ton of damage, which means that they're going to have just that much more security when they deal with this tank. Obviously, Bravos, as infected, you want to get as much damage in as you can before the survivors have to deal with the tank, because, you know, with a full team of green survivors, they can bully that tank pretty easily.
I definitely, especially in such an open area. We do have another hit going in. Pull is going to go out on Bill. Lewis is going to get charged. Fit is not going to go down on that, though, but he will get a slam, so pretty decent hit. It was similar to that hit in the open, but they're starting to do damage, and that will force Quinn to commit pills. So if they want to, they can play a bleeder tank here.
Yep, that's the kind of thing that they needed. This tank obviously needs something to work with. If you can waste their time, you know, with a bleeder, or if you could use that slow survivor, target him, and get an early corner, that could really turn things around for this tank fight. Regardless, the tank is now up in the hands of Rage Cake. Jockey did spawn there for a second, but immediately got killed. Spitter gets killed. The Bravo Sucks do have a Boomer to work with, however.
The gang has been playing this map very, very well, so I'm curious how they're going to play this tank. So do we want to over to a Survivor War him?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Just watch.
Clear common.
Yeah, he's not coming in. He's in, actually.
Gotta block that slam better.
Drop. Jock. Nothing more. Nice, that's really good. Let's go super fast. Crunchy, you take pills and then grab the ones in the closet there.
Sure thing. Oh, and we are back. Bravo Sucks, unfortunately not landing a ton of damage onto the survivors. The Crunchy's showing a lot of nice jukes.
Yeah, as we saw there, Rage Cake missed a lot of punches. We did have that nice tube boom going out at the beginning. A few support landed, not too much, but they walked out of that with a lot of health. If I was Bravo Sucks, I would be worried right now. We do have a Witch coming up, and we do have a Charger Jockey Spitter Smoker for that Witch. So a lot of damage can go out here, but it's really all coming down to the Witch.
Yep, she's in a fairly open area. She's just past this giant gas tank, or whatever this big white thing is. Looks like this the gang are trying to clear out all these commons before they aggro her. But the infected do have a smoker, and I believe, alright, the witch is aggroed. She's going to start running towards them, and the survivors are going to take this witch into down this hole, but the witch is going to run around down into the ladder area. The infector going up, they're not landing anything, and she barely makes it to Francis, but gets crowned right in front of him.
That witch just juked out the infected. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Left 4 Dead 2. Isn't it a great game? We all love it.
Yep, I've said this in every single match I've commentated. Every match I have, there's some bizarre witch movements. The witches always seem to do something crazy. Regardless, we do have the last hit for the infected going out. Full lands onto Francis, but gets cleared. Charger gets killed. A pounce does land onto Lewis, but also gets cleared immediately. That's not a ton of damage to speak of. The gang has made it to the safe room with 2 green survivors. That's, you know, a pretty nice amount of bonus for them.
Definitely. I mean, they capped a good chunk of their health bonus, and they have all of their damage bonus, and that is going to leave them with a whopping 652 bonus for map 2. So that's a 1,200 point lead.
Yep, that's a really good performance by the gang, and now Bravo Sucks are going to have to follow that. We're going to see if they can, you know, ensure the same amount of points as they did on the last map. They were showing, a bit of disorganization as infected, but this is their chance to, try and pull things together, get your bearings as the survivor side.
And definitely, and I think this is probably going to be a really important map for Bravo Sucks, because map 3, 4, and the finale are not exactly known for survivors making bonus. So if they don't, at least get, a 600 point deficit going into this, it's going to be a hard time coming for Bravo Sucks. We do have this next hit up, though. It is a Charger, Smoker, Boomer, Hunter. Looks like that Boomer is set up in the top corner. You see that boom sometimes. It's not the most common boom, though, so I don't know if Bravo Sucks are going to be expecting it. Right now, they are just really baiting out this hit. I think that's a smart idea. So we are going in now, though. Hunter will go out on Lewis. Charger is going to charge Zoe. Boomer's going to drop in. Looks like he missed his boom. Pull is going to go out on Bill, so pretty nice damage, and we still have this Boomer up. Nobody's killing it. There we go.
Yep, that's comparable damage to the first hit that the gang took on that in the same area. Bravo Sucks are going to push out through into this ammo area. Looks like they're going to have to take at least one more hit before they reach the ladder, or the gang may choose to hit them at the ladder. We've got a Charger, Hunter, Smoker, and a Spitter. A bit of a better hit for this area than what Bravo Sucks had, and we're going to see if they choose if they decide to wait for the button to be hit, or if they're going to try and hit them before.
It looks like they are taking the safer route of waiting until they push out. I wouldn't have minded seeing that earlier hit right now, because I know the survivors would not be expecting it. We do have that Hunter respawn around the corner, so it looks like they are going to go quickly as soon as they drop out. We do have our hit going in. A pull is going to go out on Lewis. That charge is going to land as well. Spit is, I think, on that.
Looks like Lewis was right on the edge of the actual spit, but the Spitter's death pool did get a bit of damage. That's okay damage so far. Bravo is down to about, I think, 50% HP. They're going to hit that button, and they're going to move back into this tunnel, so they're not going to have to deal with any hit out onto the platforms.
This tunnel, it can go either way, really, for the survivors. You can take a lot of damage here, or you can shut down every hit. I'm not sure what Bravo Sucks is going to be able to do here, but I do hope they shut down these hits. We do have two Hunters going in from the top. One is going to land on Zoe, one is going to land on Lewis. That Boomer is going to go out. I don't know what happened to the fourth. Oh my god, there's so many scratches going out from there.
Yep, that Charger spawned from behind with the Boomer, but then a bit of indecision going on. I don't think he knew who he wanted to charge. He sort of was dancing back and forth between these pillars and got shot down, but that Hunter did manage to land a lot of M2s. They've got one survivor in the red, which means that he is going to be, he's going to have to commit those pills. Bravo Sucks are doing about as well as the gang did in the same position. This tunnel, not a lot of infected landed when Bravo Sucks were infected, so we're going to see if the gang has that cohesion to land some hits. We've got a Smoker Charger going out, the tongue gets cleared, that Charger gets mowed down, and the jockey gets shut down. These rounds are playing almost like a mirror images to each other so far.
Definitely. Looks like they are pushing out now. There's still a little bit of forward. Like you said, the teams are in very similar situations right now. The only thing is that Bravo Sucks did not wait long enough. We still do have some of this event horde. I believe it's this last horde, but we do have a Smoker, Jockey, Charger, Boomer coming up to capitalize on this. Looks like that Smoker is going to go out and miss. Charger's going to go out and also miss. Two Booms going to land, and a Jockey is going to go out on Zoe. That is a 2-cap that is very nicely cleared. Okay, there we go. Now it was very nicely cleared. I thought that was going to be a lot more damage. So good on Bravo Sucks for shutting that down well. Not in the best position for this tank. They have taken a little bit more damage from the gang, but if they can kill this tank and keep it even, I think they have a shot in this. And we do have our tank coming up in the hands of Quinn Lawn, so let's run this over to a Bravo Sucks war room.
Alright, let's do it.
Reloading.
Reloading!
Right.
Reloading. Reloading.
Reloading!
Alright, I'm big enough. Should get out of that room.
Reloading! Princess!
I'm Paul.
Go pink, don't take any more punches. Alright.
There's a lot of blood, but you're not missing anything important.
And we are back after that tank from Quinlan.
I owe you.
Nearly the same thing happened to what happened to the gang. They shut down that tank pretty well, only took one down. Quinn didn't miss as many punches as Rage Cake, but
Go ahead and take this.
I think the gang is going to have a higher bonus coming into this next map if they can keep this, but they're keeping it close. And we do have that Boomer going out and just getting one. Looks like they are stacking for a tri-cap, but what did you think of that tank, Hollywood?
Yeah, I mean, Quinn was able to get that corner onto Zoe and in-capper, but crucially, the Boomer was popped immediately. This Bravo Sucks takes this next hit as well, although that spit is going to delay Francis here in the back. I mean, what was I going to say? Yeah, Bravo Sucks, they're following up on the gang pretty decently, although they do have this witch to deal with, and hopefully for the gang, they're not going to have the witch take some bizarre roundabout routes. We're going to see if they manage to get an in-cap with this witch. They do have a jockey, Smoker, Hunter, and Boomer to work with this time.
For the gang to keep their lead right now, they are going to have to match. Well, not necessarily match, but they're going to have to get an end cap on this witch. So they have to try to match what happened on their survivor side without the witch taking a bizarre path. So I think they need to be patient with their SI and make sure they get this down. Otherwise, they're only going to be up by about 100 points. Looks like Bravo is looking to draw that witch just about now. And I said Bravo, not Purple. There we go. Purple has now drawn that witch. We do have a 2-boom going out on that. Looks like that Jockey, Smoker, and Hunter are all coming in as well. They're taking this very far back. I think that's a very smart idea.
Absolutely. You don't want to deal with those commons in that enclosed space. When you can put them down into this tunnel, you can funnel them all as well as the witch. That Hunter gets skeeted. This Jockey and Smoker, I mean, there's really nothing they can do. The moment they pop their heads out, they'll get killed. Regardless, the witch is making her way down. She chooses the left tunnels. She's taking a lot of chip. They're just mowing her down very gradually. And what in the world? All right, well, apparently she just paused in the middle of those survivors. The witch is dead. The Jockey is still alive, but I mean, he's taken a lot of chip. He's down to 50% HP. Unfortunate for the gang. It looks like Bravo Sucks may take the lead unless they can make something incredible happen with his last hit.
We do have that 2-boom going out. They are only going to have one more hit, and as it stands right now, they are down by about 100 in the bonus. So if they walk in with this, they're still keeping it close. We do have a Hunter going out on Francis in the back with a stick going down on that. Quickly cleared that Jockey. It's going to Jockey Lewis in. That's a decent shock of damage.
Yep, Bravo Sucks have, they've got 2 survivors fully bleeding, 2 survivors sitting in around 50 to 40 HP. They're making it with pretty decent bonus, although Lewis does get pulled at the last second, gets cleared, and looks like Bravo is going to make it to the safe room with that.
As it stands, they are going to be down by about 250 bonus, which, considering what happened, I think that's fine. They kept it as close as they could.
Yep, no team showing any obvious weaknesses so far, although they have had their share of mistakes, I think, on both sides. And, you know, as we always say, I mean, as you said before, the next maps in this campaign are pretty notorious for so many wipes going out, which means that this is going to come down, I think, to good infected play. If these teams can, you know, synchronize those hits a little better and get some really crucial wipes early into these maps, that may be the deciding factor.
I definitely agree. I think it really can come down to the infected at this point. And if it's coming down to infected, I'm going to give the edge to the gang a little bit, because as we've seen, they have just played just a tad better at their infected than Bravo Sucks has. And that's why they have this lead they have right now. You know, the tanks on map 2, very similar. Okay, that was knocking. I apologize for that. Very similar tanks, very similar damage going out, but outside of those tanks, the gang was just doing a little bit more damage on every hit, and eventually that does start adding up. We are going to have a very early tank here, though, and I think that could give Bravo Sucks what they need to come back.
Absolutely, the gang does seem to have the edge. You know, on map 1, their SI was landing much more consistently than Bravo Sucks' tank, and just, you know, barring Rage Cake's missed punches, I mean, his SI also was doing a little bit better work when they had their tank on map 2. Regardless, this is an early tank on this map. This tank, it's a big open area. It does have hittables, but this is not a great tank for Infected, which means that I think Bravo Sucks, you know, they have a better chances here because the gang is not going to have a more dangerous tank to deal with.
We do have this first hit going in. We do have a charge going out on Zoe. A nice 2-boom landing. Hunter gets quickly cleared, but Lewis is going to get pulled. Bill does very nicely clear that. There's not a whole lot of damage going out on that hit. I thought that was going to be a lot worse.
Yeah, Bravo Sucks had a nice idea. The charger charged them into the safe room, and then the boomer jumped down to separate them, but unfortunately, the 2 survivors stuck outside. They covered each other really well. Regardless, we do have the tank up now in the hands of Grizz. He's going to work his car in. Are we going to take this to a war room?
We can. Where do we want to go?
Reloading.
I'm thinking Infected war room for Bravo Sucks.
Reloading.
He's talking to Rage Cake. Just have to.
You can boom the 2 guys in the platform there, any spot you want. Just try and for a free boom right now.
We here?
Yeah, I'll distract you. Just go for it whenever.
Oh.
Yeah, just don't take damage. We'll get another spawn, hopefully a smoker. Then you can work your car in. Those 2 are probably going to sit there the whole time. So you can literally just ignore them. Charger, you can spawn on top of them and drop in and probably charge them in there.
Okay.
Alright, 2 hunters, that's fine. Alright, you can work your car in or just go in wherever your hittables are.
Reloading. Reloading. Reloading.
Alright, let's help them. Alright, this guy?
Oh! Okay,
kill him.
you got it anyway.
Kill him.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, it's your car. Hide in the trees.
Yeah, I'm up. He's picking him up. You have to work that car in. He's got him.
Hide in the trees behind you.
Yeah, you should hide.
Reloading.
If he goes up again, I can pull him to your car. Just give me a minute though. Alright, let's go.
Car's
Get
good.
out. Let's go.
I'm sorry. Your car is over here. You can probably ink up Quinlan with your car. To my right.
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? What?
Reloading.
That sucks.
He did.
All right, and we are
Reloading.
back after that tank from Grizz. Whew, that was a rough tank for Bravo Sucks. What did you think of that?
Reloading.
Yeah, unfortunately for Briz, that car was not cooperating with him. So many unfortunate punches that weren't going anywhere near where he wanted to go. Briz was able to get an early incap onto Crunchy, but wasn't able to stop them from picking up regardless. Massive quad boom going out, double charge into Spit, and the Smoker getting a refill onto Francis. My goodness. Just when things were looking up for the gang, they have taken a tremendous amount of damage.
That was quite the hit after tank, and I don't know if that's going to be enough to save them on this map, but if they can keep their SI like that, that's their ticket to coming back. We do have the Smoker still up to get this reset, though. Looks like he is going to go for it. He's going to get cleared. Francis is going to get charged, though. Bill's going to get jockeyed and pulled down. Lewis is going to get pulled down as well. That's a reset.
mean, this is the opposite of what Bravo Sucks wants. Just like you and I were mentioning just before this round went live. I mean, the gang does seem. I mean, my goodness, what am I saying? The gang, we were just saying, seems to have the better infected play, and right now we're seeing the opposite happen. I mean, Bravo Sucks. They're landing. You know, they landed an amazing hit, and they got the reset. And they do have a witch to work with here, right in front of the train and in between the truck that's on the road. Although it's going to be pretty hard to make anything happen. This witch is in a big open area, but they do have a jockey and a charger to try and get some sort of distractions going, and a smoker, for my mistake.
They are going to go in. Charger is going to miss. Pull is going to go out and get cleared very quickly, so that witch is almost free at this point. It looks like the only shotgun is on Barracks, but I don't think he shot it. He didn't. It's going out on Bill. Oh, that was a very close crown, but we do have a jockey going out on Francis. That is going to be a down. That was a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the thinking was there. If someone, maybe if Bill started shooting before he was supposed to, I mean, that could have been disastrous. But luckily for the gang, they are still in this. Although Varix is down to 1 HP, and there are no pills for him, which means that this is going to be a long road ahead with many survivors and being slowed. And the only green survivor, Zoe, just got pulled. She does get cleared. Charger gets the scratch onto Lewis in captain. We have a double boom going out onto Francis and Lewis. Things are quickly falling apart right now.
I don't know where this Bravo Sucks has been, like, before that tank, but this is the SI that they have needed the whole time. I'm legitimately shocked. Like, I don't know where this came from, but they're playing out of their minds on this SI round right now, and it's what they need to come back. After a tank that, you know, I mean, it did damage, but not really enough, they now have got 3 slow, 1 set of pills. We do have another pull going out on Zoe. That's going to make her slow, and still not getting cleared. Hunter is going to go out. That's a 2-cap, and Francis down in spit.
That smoker is going to scratch Bill, get him in cap. Crunchy is, I mean, K3, the team captain, is the only survivor left standing. I mean, the gang, I think, they got way too impatient after that tank. They're taking so much damage from these SI hits in areas that typically don't allow for that to happen.
They just found their saving grace in 2 sets of pills in that locker. So 3 of them are black and white, 1 set of pills. I don't know if Crunchy or Quins can take it, but one of them needs to take it sooner rather than later and not hold on to it. We do have our next setup with a Smoker, Charger, Spitter, Jockey. Looks like they are choosing to go inside. I think that's a good call, regardless, but especially with a Charger and a Spitter. Looks like we have taken those pills now, but we do have our hit going in. Charger is going to land. That's a tri-cap landing.
My god, Bravo Sucks have awoken, apparently. All of their SI, they're landing, you know, they're spawning together, they're hitting together, and they're dying together. This is exactly the SI action that we were hoping to see. That's, you know, this is team play. This is like competitive Left 4 Dead 2, not just some pug that we're seeing now. Barracks is now dead. The survivors are down to 3, and they're all slow. Are they going to be able to make it to the house to start this Belto?
Looks like we did find another set of pills in that ambulance. This game has been very kind to the gang, but it will be very kind to Bravo Sucks as well. We do have a 2-2 going with a Hunter, Smoker. We do have a Hunt Spit landing and a Boom going out on 2. That was a decent amount of damage, and it looks like K3 decided to take those pills instead of giving it to his 2 friends who were black and white, so interesting call there.
First rule of triage, I suppose. The captain gets the first word on the pills. He is going to activate that bell and run back out to his team. Fortunately for them, there are a lot of gravestones here. Those interrupt a lot of the hordes, so we're not going to have any unfortunate in-cap from commons. But Crunchy is down to 1 HP, and he is, I mean, he is woefully undefended out here in this big open area. The infected have a Smoker, a Charger, and a Jockey, and a Hunter to deal with, and the hits going in.
Charger just slaps down to him and kills him, and that will be the wipe.
Team Bravo Sucks have really pulled it together, and now it's the gang who's on the back foot. They're going to have to make something, you know, they're going to have to make some magic happen if they want to follow that performance here. They do have the tank to work with, and hopefully, you know, for them, maybe they're going to have some better hittable control rather than Brizz's unfortunate car that was just flying all over the place.
We didn't really get to talk about that tank too much because I felt like there was just solid hit after solid hit landing, but Briz did have that tank, and the gang played it extremely well in Survivor. If you notice, they were rotating around that train away from the hittable the whole time. That's how you have to play that tank. That is the best way to do it. They took one hittable, they did it well. And it's just, they seemed like they fell apart after that tank, so Bravo Sucks needs to capitalize on that. They need to roll with what they've got, they need to roll with this snowball, and make it as big as possible. We do have this next hit going in, it's like everything but the Boomer has spawned up. Boomer is going in, it's going to get shoved. Oh, the Charger cleared the Hunter for a second, so not much damage going out. Great shutdown by Bravo Sucks.
Yeah, bit of a miscommunication from the gang. That Hunter did land onto Bill, I believe, and then for some reason the Charger decided to charge straight for him. I think maybe he thought that that Hunter was going to get cleared and he would get the pickup, or something along those lines. Regardless, the tank is up now in the hands of the team captain, K3, for the gang. He is going to work this hittable in, it looks like, and Bravo Sucks are going to take this tank in exactly the same fashion as the gang did. They've got a survivor on the sniper tower, the other survivors here around this train.
I think this is going to be a really, really important tank for K3, and I think they are thrilled that K3 got it. So let's see what they have to say and run it over to an infected war room off that one boom.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Reloading!
I'm reloading.
I'm gonna try to hit this over and then push them into it, okay?
Reloading.
Watch your percent your rage.
Reloading.
Bruh.
Reloading.
Where the fuck did that go?
I'm pulling Briz. He's alone. Just cover this, please. I'm clear.
Where the fuck did that? I'm gonna get... God, that car just vanished. It's all the way over here? What the fuck?
Reloading.
I'm gonna go in.
Fucking dead.
Be patient, be patient, be patient. Still 90%.
Reloading. What the hell?
Whoa! Don't shoot, it's me!
Reloading.
Let's try to pull for a last rock.
Just kill it, dude. We're gonna charge it somewhere.
Yeah, maybe we can get a
Fucking- That car just flew.
And we are back after that tank from the team captain, K3. That was not looking good for him once he hit his hittable out, but fantastic SI support. They did land a tri-cap. It was cleared, but Bravo Sucks is not in the best position, but they're alive.
I'm reloading.
And it looks like they are going to be able to take this cross without much. Yeah,
The gang, unfortunately, they missed that opportunity. The Charger goes in and misses. Spit misses. I mean, Bravo Sucks. They do have only one survivor left at green health, but they still have a pill to pass around. This witch is now up. I mean, it was looking rough there for Bravo Sucks as well. They let Witch is aggroed. We're going to see who gets the crown on this. Boomer lands a proxy onto Zoe. Bill gets pulled, and the Witch lands onto Lewis.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. Briz needed that crown. Looks like Zoe is very hoarded. Francis is rushing to get that clear. Jockey is going to come in. Charger's going to come in as well. Jockey does go out on Rage Fake. Charger gets shut down. That is heartbreaking for Bravo Sucks.
My goodness, talking about, mirror images of each other in terms of these rounds, right after Bravo Sucks had dealt with that tank, moderately well, they took so much damage out of nowhere, it seems.
Briz really needed that crown. Good ski going off by Purple. I think he's frustrated after that. He's taking it out on that poor Hunter. He doesn't deserve that. We do have that spitter going down, so they're going to be pretty staggered. They're coming up on 2 sets of pills, which is going to put them all fast, and they will be able to get a set of pills at this ambulance. So they are in a much better situation than the gang was. So this could be at least a little bit more of a comeback map for them.
Absolutely, Bravo Sucks. They know that those pills are there because they saw the gang take them, which means that there's a bit more, they can take comfort in knowing that they maybe, you know, are a bit less panicky due to that. Regardless, we do have a smoke going out onto Lewis, gets clear, Jockey gets M2'd, the Smoker gets the repull onto Lewis, and a charger lands onto Lewis. Moderate damage, the Smoker is still pulling Francis and finally gets killed. So far, Bravo sucks. I mean, they're showing, they're pulling ahead just a bit, I would say.
We do have another pause going out, because it wouldn't be Left 4 Dead 2 without pauses and crappy witches, would it?
Absolutely. I mean, not really sure what the issue is here, but this does provide us casters an opportunity to sort of get a, you know, reacquaint ourselves with the craziness that is going on in this match.
We are going to have possibly a sub for K3. We'll see what that is when we get there. But yeah, Bravo Sucks this is the most average position you can be in for map 3 death toll. Unless like the tank just critically fails and no support lands and no SI lands later, you're going to have bleeders during this event because this is not an easy map. I think it is the longest map on death toll. Map 4 might be a little bit longer, but regardless, it's a hard map. So for them to be walking into the graveyard and this pretty long event with this HP, not a bad idea. Not a bad place either.
Yeah, I think like you and I were saying at the start of this map, I mean, we were theorizing that, you know, this is probably going to come down to how well the infected lands as opposed to how well the survivors play. And I mean, it's certainly showing that, but we were thinking that, you know, it looks like the gang is the better infected team. And so far, Bravo has proven the opposite right now. The gang has landed, you know, some, I think, some really crucial hits just after that tank, and that which did hand them a nice in cap, which of course is was very nice. K3 has left the game. It looks like they're going to get a sub, I believe. I think Yams is their sub, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Yeah, although unfortunately we are having some stream issues. It looks like something is going on with Xbye's OBS.
Yams has loaded in with a wonderful name. Yams, 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 yams. We love it. Also, quick shout out to Bravo. I'm sorry for saying that you suck constantly. It's just a team name. We don't think that you suck.
I have no moral qualms about saying Bravo sucks endlessly during this match, but I mean, you know, it's what it is.
Alright, well, Hollywood hates Bravo. You heard it here first. We do have a boomer spawning up, getting a nice one boom! And that is going to leave a charger jockey spitter, which they are looking to go, I believe, and they will be. You do have this jockey going in, landing on Francis. Charger just 3 charges and completely missed, and the spitter takes, you know, gets some air on that.
Yep, staggered spawns, the charger and spitter curiously choosing to spawn behind the survivors rather than in front of them. There is this wall here in the cemetery that I believe was still available. Regardless, they are going to make it to the church. They're going to activate the bell and push back out onto this graveyard area. Purple is still sitting on a nice amount of bonus, although they do have 2 survivors slowed and no pills left to speak of. I mean, if the gang is going to land a wipe, now is the time. They've got a smoker going in. Smoker lands onto Francis, gets cleared. Another hunter lands onto Lewis. Second hunter gets skeeted, and this boomer is still looking to spawn, I think, right behind for a cheeky last-minute boom. He does land a double boom onto Lewis and a bail.
Something that we have failed to mention, that I failed to notice, is that Rage Cake is black and white, and Misu opted to take those pills instead of Rage Cake. So, as it stands, Rage Cake is taking a lot of hard damage from this boom. They also opted not to get full map distance yet, so if they lose by 33 points, 23. We know why. We do have that vial going out, though. I think it's a very smart call, and we do have a spitter, hunter, jockey, smoker up. He's got an amazing head. Hunter just gonna crash down Lewis and die immediately. Smoker will get shut down. Rage Cake gets jockeyed into spit and dies.
Yep, the Bravo Sucks is paying for that bit of a misplay with the pills, and as you mentioned, they don't have full distance on the map. I mean, obviously this game is extremely close. Both teams have taken some pretty unfortunate special hits due to, I think, their own, I don't want to say incompetence, but, you know, sort of getting carried away with themselves, and they may not even be aware. We do have a single boom landing onto Lewis. Spitter and Charger looking to spawn from behind this wall. Hunter lands onto Lewis, gets cleared. The Charger is going to charge Lewis out of that spit, but it does kill him, and the Charger's going to get the double charge, but misses. It is down to Misu in purple right now, the last survivors left standing.
I think they are really paying for having Misu take those kills at this point. She hasn't even been down yet. And now they have 2 dead survivors, which that cuts their bonus substantially. They're going to have the tiniest edge up on this map. Jockey's going in, not landing anything. Not surprising. Charger is going to go in and land on purple, though. Quickly cleared, and that's just going to leave a boomer. So they're going to walk into safe room with about 30-ish bonus. They're going to take a slight lead. Maybe not, without that wish. No, they will. They got a slight lead on this map, but they needed to make it with all 4 survivors. So now it's coming down to map 4, which is not a map we want to rely on.
Well, as you mentioned, that's not the amount of points that they were hoping for this third map. Bravo Sucks are still technically on the losing side, but I think they are showing, they're on the come up right now. The gang, I think they've gotten some lucky plays in there, like with the Witch and with Bravo Sucks, neglecting to get full distance on each one of their players. Hopefully they can, recuperate and sort of get their bearings again.
We do have another early tank coming out from map 4, which is not necessarily surprising, because unless you have like an 80% event tank, it's always going to be fought in the same spot, way back in this pretty wide open area. With this tank, you really got to make sure that your hitables are on point. So we're going to see what Bravo Sucks used to do with this tank. For this first hit, though, we do have a Boomer, Hunter, Smoker, Hunter. Boomer does get very nicely popped, just like Bill ghosted out. Hunter is going to land on Francis for a second. Oh, I'm sorry, Lewis. Now Hunter lands on Francis. Yams gets a nice self-clear on that Smoker. So 16 damage going out. You don't really expect much from that hit, unless you have a Smoker charge and you're like, let's get a death charge, which never happens.
Yeah, Bravo Sucks took that first hit with really minimal damage. They're going to push on through the sandbags. Looks like they're pushing through the news chopper, and Bravo Sucks now has a Spitter, Boomer, Hunter, Smoker. Not a great hit for this big open area, unfortunately for them, but if they can land a multi-boom, that may be able to delay the survivors so they can get one more hit in. Smoker spawns in the back, doesn't land the tongue, takes a bit of chip. Hunter is jumping around on the rooftops, but I don't think they're quite ready to get this. The survivors choose to hunt down that Smoker and kill him, not deal with any cheeky smokes in the back. Boomer does spawn in, gets a proxy onto Francis, fortunately for them.
Nice 13 damage. Pounce goes out and Spit goes down on that. I mean, that's not an incredible amount of damage, but it was something that I wasn't expecting them to get. And we do have our final tank up, for at least before finale, in the hands of Team Captain Purple. Let's run this over to a Bravo Sucks war room.
Absolutely. Let's see what they do.
Will you knock it off? Hunter! Get it off me! Get it off me! Johnson! That hurt!
Oh my god!
Easy.
I need a hand, people! Charger!
Quinlan is on the dumpster. He smoked on the dumpster too.
Okay.
But
Let me stay alive. Keep your life.
Nice. Good tank.
Good job. Good sport.
You can survive this.
Okay, I wasn't ready for that tank to wipe, but we're back after that incredible wipe by Purple. Oh my god.
I mean, Purple landed an incredible long-distance end cap through that dumpster in the air. It arced beautifully and landed right onto Bill, was sitting on top of his white van, and I mean, it was all downhill from there for the gang. They absolutely fell apart. Purple played that tank beautifully.
Like, you probably saw it in Spec Chat. I said I'm shook because I'm legitimately shook. I was not ready for that. That's the tank that they needed. That was what they needed right now. If they can kill this tank, they can take the lead on this map. They don't even have to make it. They just have to make it like halfway through it, and they've got the lead. And then it comes down to finale, and finale is just, it's a rock draw pretty much. You have no idea what's going to happen. It can go either way. So Bravo Sucks is back in this.
Yep, now it's the gang who is on the back foot. They're going to have to follow that up. I mean, if they can land an incredible, if they can make an incredible wipe happen here right at the beginning of this map, they'll still be in this. Then it'll come all, oh my goodness, it's all going to come down to the finale is what I'm trying to say.
Let's go.
We are going live, and Bravo Sucks are going to take this first hit. Hunter is pre-spawn. They also have a Smoker, Boomer, and a second Hunter to work with.
I don't expect this hit to do too much damage, as we saw on the side of the gang. They did not do very much damage on this hit, but we do have it going in. Nice 12 damage pounce is going to go out. Pull is going to go out. Boomer is going to just get bullied and M2'd, so a little bit more damage going on Bravo Sucks than went out on the gang, but nothing substantial. Looks like we are specking for that tank. Thank you, Yams. And so we are going to have a Varix tank. So this is all going to come down to Varix's tank.
Yep, we're going to see how good Varix's hittable control is if he can land another incredible long-distance dumpster in cap. The gang does have one more hit to work with. I think before this, they've got a Hunter, Smoker, Jockey, Spitter. The Hunter is pre-spawned, jumping around onto the rooftops. And it looks like the Jockey is also pre-spawned behind this bus. The Smoker spawns in, gets the pull onto Francis. The Jockey takes that and is trying to drag him into the spit, but gets clear before it lands. The Smoker is still running around trying to get a few scratches in and gets killed.
You have this tank up in the hands of Varix. I would like to speak a little bit about that hit. We saw that Quinn went for that damage pounce before any of his SI were in. A warning to all of you. In a match, you cannot play like you're playing in a pug, so DPs are very hard to go for, so be careful, kids. Let's run this over to a gang war room and see what they can do.
Absolutely. It's all on Varix right now. He's got a lot of work to do if he's going to wipe this team.
Oh, those cars. It's in the graveyard, let's go. Come up here on the left, you can get a dumpster.
Okay, I think I don't want to go AI.
Yeah, you need to go in now because you wasted a bunch of time hitting that car back there. Is that dumpster behind you? Okay.
Help me!
You walked right past the dumpster that's hittable right in front of the space.
And we are back after that tank from Varix. She did not get the wipe, and that's what they needed. There was a very nice rolling 3-cap that went out. We did get that corner on Misu, so one down went down, but that's not what they needed. And Bravo Sucks are in a great position to take this game by storm. Yeah.
Boomer gets popped. The gang also has a Smoker, Spitter, and Charger waiting in the wings. And Bravo, as you mentioned, they're in a great position to get a huge lead. This is a very long map, lots of points, and they've got 3 survivors, green, and 3 pills for Misu if she needs it. But they are going to have to take this hit inside. Smoker pulls Francis, Charger hits him into spit. That's going to be a great amount of damage onto him. Jockey also lands onto Francis and drags him back in there. You know, I guess screw Purple, apparently.
It looks like Purple got a little bit too excited about that tank kill and decided to rush that very dangerous hit and did, you know, get punished for it. It's, you know, he had to take pills. It's not the worst thing in the world right now. Rage Cake is still at 100 HP. They've got a lot of health to work with for this event, and they are just making up so much distance right now. We do have this next hit coming in. Charger, Smoker, Hunter, Boomer. Looks like Charger is going to go out on Lewis. Does land. Smoker is going to go out on Bill. Another rolling 3-cap, but it does get quickly cleared. Whereas is going to have to take that last set of pills. Oh, I'm sorry. Second to last set of pills. But, again, they need to do way more damage. They need to stop them right now.
Absolutely. The longer this goes out, the harder the finale this is going to be for the gang. The witch is up. She is just outside of these windows next to the ladder. A Smoker does try to get a cheeky pull onto Francis, but the tongue does not land. They do have a Jockey, Spitter, and a Charger to work with, but Team Bravo Sucks are just going to completely ignore that witch, go out the other windows. Smoker goes for another pull and gets cleared. That is the really smart play. Now they can use this big open area to deal with this witch.
It looks like they're not even going to bother with the witch, which I think that's a fantastic call. All you have to do is push through this event. You know the SI are set up on the witch. And if you want to go back for it and get that free 25 points, you can do that, but you don't have to. So I think this is a fantastic call by Bravo Sucks. Looks like the SI are setting up on the top, though. Charger's not in position for this, and neither is the Boomer, so they're going to take this pretty handily. We do have the hit going in. Charger is way behind, though. Boomer is trying to just set up. Free Spit is going to go out, not land on much. Spitter is going to get killed, and that's going to leave a Charger in the back and a Boomer to Jockey. Boomer is going out, does land on Zoe. Charger's taking a lot of chip, though.
I mean, things are slipping away really quickly, although the gang has landed a Jockey onto Francis. That's going to drag him forward. His team is struggling to get to him. The Jockey does get the in-cap. We've got a middle of a horde. The Smoker's going to pull Bill to stop that pickup animation. Smoker gets cleared, although it is still alive. It's going to jump down and get some scratches down. I mean, Bravo Sucks playing a little bit too quickly now, but I mean, so far, I think they're making the right call. They are pushing their advantage, and the gang seems pretty helpless right now. I don't think they know what to do.
That was a fantastic play by Rage Cake and Grizz. Spit went down, and they were looking to get a proxy back into that Spit. But Rage Cake and Grizz just said absolutely not, pushed through it, and they probably just saved themselves from the wipe with that. That is going to leave a Hunter, Spitter, and one more Hunter. Hunter is going to go and does get skeeted. One will land on Purple and get that in-cap, but again, that's fine. They still have probably about 400 bonus. They had 542 last I checked.
Yep. Bravo Sucks are down to one survivor with green health, but they are still going to make it to the safe room, it appears. The Smoker lands onto Lewis briefly, but gets cleared. I mean, the gang, they've got a Boomer now, lands a quad boom onto the entire team. Jockey's going to look to land onto one of the survivors, gets cleared. The Charger goes in and whiffs. That looks like the last hit that the gang is going to get. Bravo Sucks are going to make it to the safe room with all of their survivors. That is a ton of them.
They are going to walk in with 388 bonus. The gang is now has to wipe with that first tank and then make the boat with all 4 survivors. What a comeback by Bravo Sucks. That was very impressive survivor play. They shut down that tank beautifully. They did not take too much damage in the rest of those hits. I mean, considering how long and hard this map is, you normally aren't going to see teams even making it. So for them to make it is amazing, first of all. And then they made it with 388 bonus. I'm very impressed.
I'm very impressed with this game just as a whole. I mean, we've seen so many early tanks, you know, in really infected, unfriendly spots. They're usually fairly boring tanks to watch, you know, just nothing but rocks and maybe a corner that leads to, you know, some camping and whatnot. But I mean, all of these tanks have been really unique, and we've seen a lot of really interesting decisions and calls coming out.
Yeah. You know, like you said, like normally Death Toll is just a whole lot of very long, boring rock tanks that nobody enjoys watching or even really playing. But the teams have been playing very aggressively, and I've been really appreciating that. I think that makes for a very interesting game, and as you've seen, it's been working out in Bravo Sucks' favor. You know, pushing past that witch, not even bothering with it, the SI were not prepared for that at all. And that allowed them to, you know, take a pretty hard choke at the beginning of the event and, you know, ignore the hit, essentially. So the gang can still come back. I'm not going to count them out of this, but they have a lot of work they need to do. And with our first hit, we do have that Smoker, Hunter, Hunter, Boomer, if you want to take it away.
Absolutely. Looks like Bravo Sucks are going to push into this room. They're looking around, blocking spawns, but looks like the gang is going to try and take this hit outside. Obviously, they want to land some DPs. Both Hunters are on the roof, Boomer's on the roof. Smoker is, I completely lost sight of him, but I think he's standing behind this Jeep looking for a pull. Bravo Sucks playing really patiently now in contrast to the last map. They're trying to bait out this hit. Francis poking his head out, clearing those commons.
High-level, entertaining gameplay going out, folks.
Absolutely. Just edge of your seat gameplay. But I mean, this is obviously, I think, the right call to make. Bravo Sucks. They seized their moment when they did. Smoker now spawns in. 2 Hunters landing. They both land. That Boomer landed a double boom and is now scratching Lewis. Gets a proxy onto all 4 of them. That's a pretty nice hit. Not a ton of damage, but this horde is going to hold them up for a bit.
Considering what the hit was, I was not expecting that to do very much damage at all. And they're going to, you know, walk away with about 80 damage off that hit. So if the gang can keep playing like this, then they can wipe with Yams' tank coming up. They're in a position to come back, which this game would just be back and forth. We do have this witch up with a Spicker? Uh-huh, alright. Spitter, Smoker, Boomer, Hunter. Hunter, Smoker, good lord, is set up on that witch. He does go for that pull, it's gonna miss. Hunter is now pouncing around, just trying to like scare the survivors. Boomer does go in and gets popped. That's not good for the gang.
Yeah, the gang, I think, are putting a little bit too much weight into this witch. Probably angry that they missed the last one. The Smoker's now going to walk around to that witch. Going to crouch behind her, try and get a cheeky pull. It does land onto Zoe, but they managed to clear without aggroing the witch. This spitter has nothing to spit on. It spits and gets cleared, and that witch gets crowned. Unfortunate for the gang.
Very good play by Bravo Sucks. They were very patient with that witch, and that's what they needed to do there. We do have the tank up in the hands of Yams himself. I'm so excited to watch this tank.
As am I. Looks like the survivors are going to take this back out behind the house. Yams is going to walk in. I mean, it all rests on this tank for us. We do have a single boom onto Zoe. Charger lands onto Bill briefly. Jockey lands onto Francis briefly. Gets cleared. Not the kind of holdup they were looking for, but Yams is going to start working this car, and he's got it onto the roof of the house. Very nice position for him.
A fantastic car placement. He does hit it in. That's in a pretty good spot for them. Francis almost tried to melee escape that rock, but jumped out of the way just in time. So we are going to have, looks like it's going to be a rock tank for a little bit. No, he's committing. Let's run this over to an infected war room.
Absolutely. This is, I mean, this is it for the gang. They need to wipe with this tank.
I'm going inside.
Going in.
Just call us in. Melee behind you? I'm going in.
Oh! That's so light. Nice tank.
We are back after that tri-cap during Yams' tank. Oh my god! We were talking about it. I said don't count out the gang in this game. I wasn't expecting it to actually happen.
I mean, stranger things have happened. There have been so many incredible comebacks in this tournament, just in the games that I've cast alone, and the gang pulled through. That infected play was beautiful, and I mean, I think Bravo Sucks. They made the right call. As soon as that Boomer landed outside, they rushed back into the room. They're not having it with all of those hordes and all of those hittables, not to give Yams any opportunity. And Yams, you know, he just went in there, guns a-blazing, and his team was there to back him up. Everything landed when it needed to. I mean, that was a beautiful tank fight all around.
It seemed like Purple got a little bit too aggressive on that tank. As you saw, like he ran up to his back to get that melee on him while Zoe was getting cornered, and then he got doubled. And then once that charge just capitalized on Purple being so out of position, it really set up the rest of the SI to get that beautiful tri-cap. I mean, that's what the gang needed. If they didn't get that, I don't think they really had a shot at winning this game, but they just blew it wide open.
Absolutely. Bravo sucks. They were looking very comfortable from these last few maps. They were playing, I mean, that last map, they were playing far better than the gang, and now it's, you know, it's their turn to be on the back foot. Now they've got a lot to make up. They have to, you know, shake off those nerves from that tank fight, see if they can still secure this match.
And Bravo sucks is in a very, very good position. Even though they did wipe on that first tank, you know, the gang has to make the boat, maybe with a little bit of bonus. Just the tiniest amount of bonus, I think. I can't really do math. I'm an English major, don't judge me. But that is a long event, and that is 2 tanks that they have to kill pretty seamlessly. And they can't take too much damage on either tank, lest, you know, they just get wiped by regular SI, which happens. So Bravo Sucks is in a good position. They need to capitalize on that good position and make sure that they keep themselves in it. It's really going to come down to these tanks.
For sure. I mean, Bravo Sucks, they were playing very well up until this point, and they did handle, I want to say, my goodness, the Witch just before that tank. I mean, they handled her very well because the gang tried really hard to get that Witch into the action, but they did manage to avoid aggroing her and crown her fairly easily. If the gang can make the same type of thing happen, if they can avoid getting horribly tri-capped and wiped by this early tank, I mean, they're still in it. And like I said before, stranger things have happened. The game that I cast last night alone, there was a much larger deficit between the teams there, and I mean, they almost made it happen.
You have a very early hit going on. Pull is going to go out on Lewis. It's going to get cleared. Hunter is going to get shut down. The other Hunter is going to get shut down as well. And I believe that was a boomer pop. So, very nice handle by the gang. I think Bravo Sucks is looking to get something on that Witch, but they are blitzing this map right now. And Yams is the only shotgun. He needs to put on his running shoes and get to this Witch before they have any spawns up on her.
Yeah, it looks like they've made it into this backyard area, but the spawns are ready. Spitter, Hunter, Boomer, Smoker. We're going to see if Bravo Sucks can make something happen with this Witch. Of course, the Witches are always notorious for just completely changing the pace of the game. Can the gang crown her without much trouble? We're going to see right here. The Boomer spawns, gets popped immediately. Very nice play by the gang. They've moved on to this other house, this other fenced area here that we don't commonly see. Looks like they're trying to clear these commons out. The Hunter is pre-spawned right next to them. The Witch gets aggroed, gets crowned immediately. Very nicely done. Smoker lands onto Zoe briefly and gets cleared and shut down.
That was a very, very nice Witch take by the gang. I think Yams made a very smart call, pushing into that, you know, fenced area. I think the SI thought they were going to draw it back, and Yams did draw it, and then he ran forward and quickly crowned that Witch before they could do anything. Bravo Sucks is not ready for that. We do have the tank up in the hands of Team Captain Purple, and as we saw, Purple is, you know, not... He knows how to use hittables. So, if he can make this happen, he can secure the win for Bravo Sucks. Looks like he is trying to get this farther back hittable into play. Looks like it is going to go in. I thought Francis was going to get hit by that. Setting up in his rock position now. Let's see what the gang chooses to do.
Looks like they've taken position beside this Jeep. They're trying to chip that tank down as much as they can. Purple is going to work in his second hatchback car and he's pushing in onto Lewis. Lewis is a bit out of position. A jockey's going to run in after him, but unfortunately Lewis gets away before he can try to land. But you do have a Hunter spawn up onto the roof. Purple looks a little bit disoriented, not really sure what he's trying to do here. He does land a nice rock onto Zoe. That is going to give him an opportunity to push into Francis and Zoe. Charger goes in, misses. Hunter goes in. Oh my goodness, a double car from Purple. This is exactly what they needed.
That was huge. And he's going to get the car on Zoe. That is going to leave only Quinn up. I think this is going to be the wipe. Oh, Quinn is able to kill the tank. That does leave a Jockey and Charger up, and Jockey does get killed. He's able to get them up. My God.
Need a little help
very ballsy by Quinn. Finish that tank off with a melee weapon, no less. She is going to manage to pick up Francis. We do have a smoker looking to spawn in the building that they just came from. Maybe for a last second pull. No, looks like they're going to save that. The gang was saved by the skin of their teeth right there.
This is not a great position for the gang to be in. Like, they were able to kill the tank, and that's important. We do have a tri-boom going out, and looks like they are going to hit off that, actually. Free spit is going to go out. It doesn't really land anything. Jockey gets empty and shut down. Lewis does get pulled. That's going to get quickly cleared. The gang's not in a good position. If you wanted to come back on this map, you really needed to kind of ace that tank on this. And 3 end caps is not what you were looking for. They're alive, though, and that's what matters. They really need to do some incredible health management throughout this event, and then you just shut down that second tank very well.
Yeah, Purple, as you mentioned, he gave us a little bit of an encore with that hittable control, an incredible double car, and then another car. Whereas we do have a charger landing, an incredible tri-charge. Hunter lands onto Francis, doesn't get cleared immediately. Jockey does get shut down, however. As you were saying, I mean, the gang did survive the tank, but not as well as they were hoping for. They've only got 1 survivor now with green health. The other survivors are all bleeding. They have 1 pill left among them, and they do have the 4 extra pills in the finale area. They're going to take this house. Lewis and Bill are getting, rearming, getting some different weapons and reloading their weapons. Looks like we've got a boomer going in onto Bill, who was alone in there. Charger isn't able to land the boomer pop interrupted, but the charger charges right out of that into Spit. That's a ton of damage going on to Crunchy.
That charger was red HP when he landed, and that is going to be a Crunchy black and white. I think the gang really misplayed that there. I mean, they had everything going in their favor with that boomer stumbling the charger, and they are now sitting on all the pills they have left. Crunchy and Yams. It's gonna have to take them, and Yams just get jockeyed, and that 2 booms going out. That jockey's still not clear, and that leaves a smoker and a hunter up. Crunchy is gonna get pulled, but quickly cleared. I think the hunter is not opting to go in. They have 2 sets of pills, 3 bleeders, 1 black and white, and we have an incredible hunt going out on Zoe. Good God, they're so out of position.
I mean, the gang, this is a high-stakes situation. It was all coming down to this map. As you mentioned, they need to make this boat with some amount of bonus, perhaps, even maybe the smallest amount. And right now, they are so out of position. They're very disorganized. I mean, I think this may be the nerves getting them to them a little bit.
You are going to have a Hunter Smoker Charger Boomer for this hit. This is not a bad hit to this area. If the charger is ballsy, he can try to take a death charge on either. We do have a 2 boom going out. Pull is going to go out. Charge is going to land. Is that going to be a tri-cap? Nope, Hunter does get heated. But that is going to be Yams, black and white. And Crunchy died.
This may be the end for the gang. They're clearing this common off of Yams. They're going to try and get him up before the next hit is up. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, it may be over, and that's really unfortunate to see. I was really rooting for them this match.
As it stands, they're not going to make the distance that they need, and they only have 86 bonus. So I would like to extend congratulations to Bravo Sucks for winning this match. Still a little bit more of the cast to go. We do have a hit going in. Zoe will get pulled, but quickly cleared. Hunter is going to go and just get heated. Charger gets nicely shut down. Spit's not going to land, but Francis will be slow after that smoke and that spit.
Yeah, the match is decided. Bravo Sucks will take this one, but it is important to remember that the gang still has, there's still something they can do here. The point difference may be the difference between them making it past the group stage and not, if, the point differential is small enough. This is the group stage of the tournament. This is not the end for them. We are going to see them again. And I mean, there's still something that they can recover here, if not at least their pride. We do get a single boom onto Francis. Smoker goes out, gets cleared. Charger misses, although the jockey does land onto Zoe, and this Charger gets a couple of punches onto Francis. The Charger lands some punches, my mistake.
They are making up some points, which is going to be very important for... What? Oh, okay, hopefully somebody can take care of that. It is very important that they are making up the points that they're making up right now. Because like you said, this is not the end for them. This is just the group stages. if they can, keep it down to this 400-point differential that they're at right now, that'll be good. We do have Francis going down. Zoe will get pulled. Charger does get nicely shut down, though. They're going to be able to keep making up some points.
Yep, and as always, I mean, they are going to be able to watch this VOD later. You can always learn from your mistakes. It builds character, etc. And the gang will have, some more information to work with for their next match. They can have the opportunity to scrim more, watch this replay, and work on their teamwork a little bit.
Definitely, and, they did not play badly in this match. They had the lead for the first 4 matches. It really came down to the last 2 matches. We do have the flat hit going in. Joey will put down that jockey display that is going to be.
So Bravo Sucks takes it. Let me look at the points here. 27-48 to 23-82. Very close game. Very entertaining to watch and to cast.
And with that, Bravo Sucks will take the match. I mean, like you said, that was very, very, very back and forth. I think that was a lot of fun to cast, and I think it was a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully it was a lot of fun for the players to play. Before we go, I would like to remind you all that you can vote for the MVP of the match over at the MavWar website. Please do that. Everybody appreciates it. Everybody likes to see that their name is getting votes, so they know that they're good players.
Absolutely. MavWar.com/vote MVP. Vote on who you think was the MVP of this game. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you all for joining us, and have a wonderful night.